Lane Kiffin, LSU's new football coach, said this in his introductory press conference. I want you to listen to it, and then I want you to hear what the governor said before Lane got the job.
From everyone, from the president, from the governor, so it just became apparent, like that alignment of all being there. And other places have good alignment, but it was like the entire state of everybody that I talked to at some point, okay, was aligned that the number one thing in this state is to get LSU football back to the championship level where it was at before. That's very unique to have everyone in the state, okay, on the same page to get the same thing done.
Now I'm about to let you hear Jeff right after Brian Kelly was fired as the coach at LSU and what he had to say about the next contract.
Look, my role is about the fiscal effect of firing a coach under a terrible contract. I wanted to tell you something. This is a pattern. The guy that's here now that wrote that contract cost Texas A&M $70-something million. Right now we got a $53 million liability. We are not doing that again. And you know what? I believe that we're going to find a great coach. I mean, maybe we'll let President Trump pick it. He loves winners.
Well, Jeff lied because the contract is $91 million, $13 million a year. It makes Lane Kiffin the second highest paid coach in college football in America. 80% of his money he gets if he's fired without cause, which is almost as good as Brian Kelly's 90% deal. Jeff do a lot of lying. He don't do a lot of leading. And I keep reminding y'all that Louisiana ranks 50 in the nation, 50 in crime, 50 in the economy, 46 in education, and Jeff got time for football. Lane said the most important priority to the governor and everybody in the state was picking a football coach for LSU. And you wonder why we rank 50. And just remember that your tax dollars are under the control of this man because 36% of the people showed up to vote on election day in 2023 when Jeff Landry was elected the governor. Only 19% of registered voters in the state of Louisiana voted to elect this man. But he is the governor, and he's got everybody in the country talking about Louisiana, and it ain't for good. As always, do good, seek justice, keep pushing.
And look, y'all already know on this channel we hold crooked politicians accountable because if we don't, who will? If you don't like black people, black issues, black talks, get to stepping. LSU just made one of the biggest financial moves in college football. After hiring Lane Kiffin, the school is now tied to more than $162 million. And that's not even counting the past. LSU is still paying Brian Kelly's $54 million buyout and Ed Orgeron's $17 million. Kiffin's deal adds another $91 million. LSU is now paying 3 coaches at the same time. Many are calling it the Louisiana purchase of college football. Make that make sense. Now, I told y'all a month ago that LSU football is cursed, and everything I said came to pass. Tell me I'm lying. Lane Kiffin said the number one priority in Louisiana is for LSU to win a national championship. What you talking about, Willis? I'm from Louisiana, and if you live in Louisiana, this should piss you off. But before I spaz out in this video, listen to this rotten raisin face Louisiana Governor Jeff Landry. Run the tape.
Will you make sure the next contract for the next football coach at LSU is not ridiculous, and will you have something to do with the search for that guy?
The first question is absolutely correct. We are not going down a failed path. And I wanted to tell you something. This is a pattern. The guy that's here now that wrote that contract cost Texas A&M $70-something million. Right now we got a $53 million liability. We are not doing that again. And you know what? I believe that we're going to find a great coach. I mean, maybe we'll let President Trump pick it. He loves winners. You know? I'm not going to be picking the next coach. But I can promise you, we're going to pick a coach, and we're going to make sure that that coach is successful, and we're going to make sure that he's compensated properly, and we're going to put metrics on it. Because I'm tired of rewarding failure in this country and then leaving the taxpayers on the foot, to foot the bill. So yeah, I absolutely.
Selecting the next coach.
Who's that?
Scott Woodward.
No, I can tell you right now, Scott Woodward is not selecting the next coach. Hell, I'll let Donald Trump select it before I let him do it.
Who will be?
I don't know, but the Board of Supervisors is going to come up with a committee, and they're going to go find us a coach. Because wait, I want to hold on. One real quick thing on that. Because here's what y'all reporters need to do. Y'all need to start looking and who represents all these people, like these agents. You know what's interesting? If I'm not mistaken, Woodard's agent, Kelly's agent, the Texas A&M, they're all the same agent. Like, you realize if I would be, I don't know how many sports writers we got here today? Just you. We should have a bunch. Okay? Like, this is ridiculous. Lawyers would be disbarred for the way these agents act and the way they're able to represent. In fact, there's no doubt, they may even represent some of the players now. Like, it's really time for the NCAA to put on some guardrails in college sports. Because, and it's fine, we don't need the guardrails. If big billionaires want to spend all that kind of money, no problem. But if I got to go find $53 million from Kemp, it's not going to be a pleasant conversation. I'm just telling you, I know. And I think that that's important as well. Y'all should start looking into that. Okay, all right.
And I say it every single time, make that make sense. And then I say, wait, this is the same governor that wanted a Charlie Kirk statue on LSU campus. This is the same governor that praised the 5 Louisiana troopers that murdered Ronald Green and got away with it. And I can go on and on. He really thinks he's Donald Trump. And I'm saying, how you got time to talk about football when my state is damn near last in everything? Tell me that. And don't worry, I got time today. I'll wait. Louisiana sits near the bottom nationally in almost every major category. The state ranks 50th in crime and corrections, 50th in the economy, 46th in education, 46th in fiscal stability, 44th in healthcare, 48th in infrastructure, and 49th in national environment. Make that make sense. Almost last place in every major category. But combined, LSU owes 3 coaches $162 million. But this is the cold part. Out of those 3 coaches, they've been coaching, not all of them, but it goes far back as the 1980s, the early 1990s. They've been coaching for a long time. Only one of them has 1 championship. They have won nothing. And then I said, wait. If these average ass coaches can get $90 million, then why the teachers of Louisiana can't get a pay raise? If these average coaches can get $90 million, then why the nurses of Louisiana can't get a pay raise? If these average coaches can get $90 million, then why the truck drivers of Louisiana can't get a pay raise? If these average ass coaches can get a pay raise, then why the plant workers in Louisiana can't get a goddamn pay raise? And I can go on and on. If y'all feel like I'm tripping, if y'all hating, if y'all mad at me because I'm speaking on college football and how they scamming the people, in my comment section, tell me I'm tripping. Lane Kiffin is now working under the LSU system in a state led by Jeff Landry, and his new contract shows exactly where Louisiana puts his money. He's stepping into a $91 million LSU deal that pays him about $13 million a year, while Louisiana families are grinding through doubles and 6-day work weeks just to stay afloat. People struggle to afford basics, yet the system finds superstar money for football overnight. Make that make sense. So I want to know, who are the real DEI employees? Because these coaches come in not winning anything, no championships. Between 3 coaches, 1 championship out of all these decades they've been coaching. They come in making $90 million. They come in making $100 million. But when it comes to a black coach, he has to earn his, right? Yeah, all right. This the same state that said the city of New Orleans has ran out of funds. This the same state that claimed they can't fund public schools in Louisiana. This the same state that claimed they don't have the fund to send to these city workers. They don't have the money to give to city workers. And I can go on and on, but some way, somehow they find $90 million. They find $100 million to give to these basic ass, average ass coaches, but they can't give the money to the people. Bro, I keep telling y'all, the game is cold. And look, I remember back in 2022, at the time, I was living in New Orleans. And look, I was driving for this trucking company. They told me they wanted me to work 6 days a week, 12-hour shifts. I did it for 1 week. I said, hell no, I feel like a slave. But with these coaches that haven't won anything, did nothing, they bring them in to Louisiana and they give them $90 million. They give them $100 million. But the whole year, I've been covering all these stories. Just go back to my videos. I've been covering all this. The whole year, they've been saying, oh, the city of New Orleans don't have any funds. Oh, the city of New Orleans can't fund the public schools. Oh, Baton Rouge don't have any funds. How? What about Mardi Gras? What about the Super Bowl? What about the people who tore touring New Orleans? What about people who come into Louisiana, period? You made over $1 billion. Who are these people trying to fool? And look, y'all already know, before I end this video, I have to speak from the heart. Lane Kiffin said the number one priority in Louisiana is for LSU to win a national championship. Well, Lane Kiffin, I don't mean to put corn in your gumbo, but until LSU gives Kyron Lacy a memorial, until LSU put respect on Kyron Lacy's name, LSU will be forever cursed. They never win a national championship. You got our people in Louisiana that's going to school, going to college, and getting their degrees, getting their trades, but they got to move to Texas. They got to move to Georgia. They got to move to DC just to make some money, just to take care of their family, just to be able to afford to take care of their family and have a goddamn life. They got to move out of the state of Louisiana, but they can bring in these average ass coaches who haven't won anything, who haven't done anything, and give them $90 million. And give them $100 million goddamn dollars, but you can't give that money to the hard-working people of Louisiana. Bro, the game is cold. I'm out.